Dear id Software. Hi, it's me, Austin. What you doing? While I wait for you to get back to me, let me tell you what I've been up to. Reminiscing. What about Doom? Actually, I suppose your entire franchise. Wolfenstein 3D was my first foray into first-person shooters, and to be honest, I was probably way too young to be playing when I did. Ah well. I guess you're never too young to shoot Nazis. Speaking of guilt-free murder and sadistic torture, thanks for making Doom this year. I really needed to be able to mindlessly murder an entire species without any guilt, especially since I essentially dedicated 6 months on this channel to making videos encouraging people to empathize with the enemies in video games. It turns out even those with a conscience occasionally need to validate themselves with a good old-fashioned genocide. Anyway, id, I'm writing to you today for a couple of reasons. Reason the first. Thanks for corrupting my main save file and making this video a hell of a lot harder to make. You're the best! The second reason I'm writing to you is to talk about one of the most iconic and badass cornerstones of the entire Doom franchise. It's so badass, in fact, that only one name can truly encapsulate the awesome of this behemoth. The Big Fucking Gun 9000. This weapon of demonic decimation is capable of felling all but the most impossibly huge hell beasts in one fucking shot, sufficiently ending their existence in a shower of blood and gore that is both spectacular to behold and annoyingly taxing on my system when I'm trying to get footage for it. The Big Fucking Gun has existed as long as Doom itself, and for its entire career has been an overpowered death dealer. In spite of its popularity and ubiquity, the exact methodology behind how it works has remained a complete and total mystery. Until now. That's right, here at ShoddyCast we put our science team hard to work, and they have finally figured out how this big motherfucking gun makes even the most snarly little shits of hell piss their pants before exploding into goddamned fucking roasted meat. We've got a little meandering to do before we get there, however. Let's talk a little bit about Doom to help us wrap our heads around how this plasma ejaculating piece of overcompensation works. The new iteration of Doom seems simple enough at face value. You are a big manly man-pants who loves killing demons. As a bonus, there happens to be a plethora of demons all over the fucking place like goddamn cockroaches. The entire game is you playing Paranormal Exterminator, except instead of using nerdy proton packs like in Ghostbusters, holy shit, that would make a great episode topic. Focus, Austin, focus! Instead of using nerdy proton packs like some other unnamed paranormal exterminators, you use manly man-pants guns that cock and fire everywhere, turning these demons into moldy pieces of meat. Of course, if you look a little bit more closely, you start to see that the story is a bit more complex than that. Gone are the days of the 90s when you shot things for 3 hours without thinking, only to get a small paragraph at the end contextualizing everything. No, now we have to have a story. Well, thankfully, Doom's isn't too terrible. Doom, perhaps in an effort to capture more ethereal yet very real fears over the original game's preference for jump scares, takes our very modern concerns about energy famines and availability and cranks them up to 11. In the far future, the energy crisis has been averted. Whew. Of course, there's one tiny little problem. This new source of energy was taken without permission from the very chasms of hell itself. It's never exactly explained how this works, and maybe we'll look into it eventually, but for now, all you need to know is that hell itself provides energy in the form of argent plasma. Presumably, since energy for the entire history of humanity has been primarily heat energy, argent plasma is probably pretty similar to our real plasma. This demon jizz doesn't just power homes and cities, though. It's also used in weapons like the plasma rifle and, of course, the big fucking gun. You might have noticed that I talk a lot about lasers and plasmas. That's cause goddamn video game developers and science fiction writers fucking love plasma. It solves all their problems, or so they think. id Software dodged a bit of a bullet, of course, in that they made up a whole new substance. Fuckers. There's no specific heat capacity listing for the argent element. You bastards, you're trying to get in the way of my science, but you can't. You can't stop the signal, baby! The big fucking gun launches a terrifying blast of argent plasma at your enemies and makes them explode. While we don't know the properties of argent, that can't stop us from figuring out exactly how it works. So, how do you explode a demon? Simple. You turn it into a potato. Wait, that's not right. Fuck, damn it, I messed up the fucking reveal, fuck! Anyway, if you have a potato in a microwave in your home right now, go and toss a potato in the microwave for, 7 to 9 minutes. Chances are, if you do this, it'll explode, unless you cheated and poked holes in it first, aren't you, smarty pants? Potatoes, and presumably other foods, will explode when they're heated up because the water inside them starts to vaporize as the microwave pumps heat into it. As the water vaporizes, it expands and tries to find a way out. Without holes to vent the pressure, this pressure builds up, and boom! You just simulated a demon exploding because of a BFG, and you have a mess to clean up. I once read in a forum in the early days of researching an episode, a post made by a United States Marine who had seen combat in Afghanistan. Someone was asking the best way to turn a human into a liquid, and the Marine's response was, easy. Launch a rocket-propelled grenade into them. They'll be liquid in no time. Grisly, but true. While in general it's easier to blow people up by, just blowing them up, in the world of Doom, engineers and military personnel have apparently gotten bored with more domesticated methods of murder and invented a device that explodes people and demons alike by vaporizing their water content. So, how does this work? For some of this, we're definitely gonna have to presume that the demons have a similar biology to humans, or at least other mammals, although at the energies we're talking about, it honestly doesn't matter. More on that in a bit. A good portion of our water content is tied up in our blood, which has sodium, which does slightly raise the boiling temperature of water, but not by a lot though, and for the sake of exploding a human body by vaporizing their water content, we don't need to bother that much with it. Also, unlike Maze Gun, which freezes its victims entirely solid, our BFG 9000 doesn't necessarily need to do a perfect job. It doesn't need to vaporize all the water in our bodies, it just has to vaporize enough to cause an awesome explosion. Since this energy is getting transferred incredibly quickly, this also reduces the requirements quite a bit. Let's go with 50% of the water content needs to be turned into steam in order to explode our human potato. Given that the average United States Marine, the closest real-life equivalent to our Doom Marine, is 196 pounds or 88.9 kilograms with a body water content of 60%, this means that we only need to vaporize 26 kilograms of water. Awesome! Thankfully, I've already built a model human and I just need to reorganize it for this, and in order to vaporize enough water to explode a Doom Marine, over 63 megajoules needs to be imparted into their body. This is enough energy to launch a 1 kilogram package from our planet into space and reach escape velocity. God fucking damn, that's a lot of energy. But it's not an impossible amount. After all, we send things to space all the time. Of course, as with all things, there's energy waste due to resistance and just, not everything happening in a perfect vacuum. And the BFG is capable of doing this to tons of assholes at once, so the ball of death that it is has way more energy inside of it. In fact, humans are the smallest things on the list that can actually be turned into fucking mulch by this thing. The largest and most terrifying potential victim of this monstrosity is the Baron of Hell, a pile of raw meat and bad attitudes, and probably racist opinions. I mean, just look at him. He has the worst ingrained stereotypes about humans. Although, since his primary engagement with our species is, watching his friends and family get massacred, I'm gonna let this one slide. So, sure, we can figure out how to vaporize a human's water content, but a Baron of Hell? How the fuck do we do that? There's no lore information on them when it comes to mass or composition, and I'm way too lazy to copy and paste something for scale, but thankfully, for the resourceful, there's another option. You see, Barons of Hell have been around since the early days of Doom, and the original Doom engine has a lot of fun little stats and variables in them, along with one tiny, often ignored mechanic: mass. Mass in the original Doom is actually pretty similar to our real-life mass. At its most basic level, it's resistance to being moved. The default mass for the human marine is 100. The Baron of Hell, though? 1,000. 100,000. This means effectively that the Baron is 10 times the mass of our Marine, which actually seems pretty accurate. This brings the bastard up to almost 2,000 pounds or almost 900 kilograms. At this size, and given similar body chemistry, how much energy would have to be absorbed by their body to elicit an amazing steampunk explosion? 644 megajoules, or precisely all the energy contained in a single bolt of lightning. I'm not talking about the energy delivered by a bolt of lightning. No, the entire cumulative force of a lightning bolt. Given an incredibly generous 75% energy waste, this means that each blast of the BFG, which is capable of mutilating every monster it comes into contact with, has to have at least 7 gigajoules of fucking energy, which is several times the total amount of energy your heart will output for your entire life. To put this in perspective, in order to get 2 kilograms or almost 5 fucking pounds, so enjoy that 50 pounds of kickback per shot of the BFG of hydrogen to carry this much energy, we'd have to heat it up to over 100,000 degrees Celsius, which would quite likely melt the face off of anybody firing it, and is in the temperature range we only see naturally in small stars and nebula. This means inside this demon shithead, it's like goddamn fireworks, as Argent energy, the very stuff that humans have been stealing from his people, lights him up like a goddamn Christmas tree. In fractions of a second, his interior body temperature spikes dramatically as his body fluids immediately vaporize, putting pressure on his internal organs, rupturing them, tearing sinew and bone as steam escapes, and immediately deleting his childhood memories from the face of the universe, his last vision being that of a foreign invader taking gleeful joy in murdering him and his compatriots by turning their own energy against them and converting their bodies into glorified pressure cookers. God damn it, fuck, no wonder demons hate humans. We're kind of assholes. But fuck it. Who cares? I love killing things. I don't give a shit if the demons didn't consent to have their energy stolen. Fighting a one-man war is fucking fun, and it's even more fun doing it with a gun that has the word fuck in it. Sincerely, Austin. P.S. Stuff! I love stuff, which is why I love Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a pretty cool group of folk who go through the effort of finding a menagerie of cool stuff so you don't have to. Not unlike Ira Glass, each month they bring you a different theme and a number of stuff related to that theme. This July, it was the future. You know, science fiction, aka the stuff we tear apart here on the daily here at Shoddycast. This Loot Crate came with all sorts of amazing stuff, like a RoboCop water bottle, a Buck Rogers poster, a Gundam model for you to assemble, and a badass Pacific Rim figurine. Loot Crate gives you a buttload of different options to pick from, with prices starting as low as $13.95 a month and going upwards to $100 for limited edition crates. Oh, and like, if all the shirts you own are complete garbage, you can also sign up for Level Up, their subscription devoted specifically to decking out your wardrobe with awesome nerdy gear by giving you shirts and other stuff every month, like this badass Voltron shirt. Ah, I miss Voltron. I used to watch that show all the effing time. Screw the Power Rangers. That giant robot was where it was at. Head on over to lootcrate.com/shoddycast and pick your monthly dose of nerdy poison now for 10% off. Next month's theme is anti-heroes. The deadline to lock in next month's subscription is the 19th, so hurry up. Remember, use lootcrate.com/shoddycast or the discount code shoddycast, or click the link in the description for 10% off. Crap, I forgot the water bottle. Also, today marks the beginning of the official Shoddycast Amateur Overwatch Tournament. Head on over to twitch.tv/Shoddycast this afternoon/early evening to check it out. Here's the schedule. And don't miss Tuesday when our very own Team Shoddycast is going to be entering the running. There are no prizes this time, but it will be a fun time. You get to vote on who you think will win, what our next tournament game should be, and a bunch of other super awesome stuff. Anyway, go there. Twitch.tv/Shoddycast. Good news, everyone! Thank you for watching my video on the BFG 9000. This one was a little bit on the tough side because when someone just straight up makes up a substance, what do? You just go, I guess I'll just kind of wing it, I guess. But no, I think that's the only way you could explode somebody, like, of any size, is by heating up it doesn't have, okay, so we did presume that the demons are like humans, but if you've been to the demon realm, you'll notice that there isn't a lot of water nearby. So maybe they don't have water content, but things that are heated up do expand. So as long as you can heat up whatever crap they have in their body, do have blood of some kind. I've seen it. Sprays everywhere. So as long as you can heat that up quickly enough, the same thing would happen. I just don't know the exact numbers, so I picked blood. Yeah! This one was asked by a few people. We might try to do a little bit more. I wanted to do 2 things where I looked at how like strong the Doom guy would have to be, not just to carry the weapons. I know that's been kind of looked at before, but some of the other things that he does, I want to look into. So if this does well enough, we'll do that another time. If it doesn't, then too bad, no more Doom stuff. If this goes the way of the Mirror's Edge video, which I spend so much time on. I'm currently moving to a new place, so this video I think was slightly shorter. I'm guessing based on the script length, probably slightly shorter than other videos, but you know, stuff happens. And now I'm gonna go. Oh, but first I'm gonna thank our Patreon supporters who make this show possible. You guys are the best. Thank you, Patreon supporters. Thank you, and good night. Don't forget to go to Twitch, watch our thing, and see you next week. Bye.